call this meeting to order. 23, I'm sorry, thank you. Good correction. Roll call and establishment of quorum. Start over here.
Benito Hernandez present.
J.L. Perez present.
Alexandra Flores present.
Javier Ramirez present.
Mayor Rick Guerra present. I believe Mr. Joel Garcia will be running a little late.
I motion to excuse.
Second.
Motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Next item, invocation and pledge of allegiance. Stand. Anybody want to lead us this morning? Okay, can bow our heads. Dear Lord Heavenly Father, we commit this town to you, commit this meeting to you, commit the citizens to you, dear Lord, and your plans, and establish our plans, as it says in Proverbs 16:3. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Certified posting of agenda.
Yes, council members and mayor, the agenda was to be posted as required by state law, these 72 hours prior to the start of the meeting.
All right, thank you. I didn't see public comments.
No one signed up.
All right, thank you. First item, opening up a public hearing at 6:03. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Motion carries. It is 6:04, and we have opened our public hearing. For the record, consideration to rezone from its present designated land use zoning, agricultural open interim to heavy commercial on Citraland Farms, for the record.
Yeah, on behalf of Rudy Flores, who had to leave early today, Lieutenant, if you can put that image up. Basically, this is a property on South Minnesota, at the very end of South Minnesota, where it ends to the left. There's a property there that they wanted to rezone to commercial. They have a, they actually transport medical equipment from here to Mexico. This went before the Planning and Zoning Board. There were some questions and concerns that came up about heavy truck usage. So the Planning and Zoning Board approved it, subject to the non-use of heavy truck equipment. The heavy trucks that these people are gonna be using are single axle trucks, so they won't have as much weight or impact on the streets. There it is. And rather than make it heavy truck, commercial, they want to zone it to just commercial. So
So they're not
again,
bringing semi-trailers or double axle.
It says here heavy commercial
Yeah.
though.
Heavy
Yeah.
commercial.
they wanted to make it heavy commercial, but I think they approved it to just commercial. Let's see here. Let's see if everybody has. To general business, yeah.
Oh,
General
It doesn't
business,
say
so-
that there.
Yeah.
it doesn't say.
Well, because they applied for heavy commercial, that's what they wanted, but Planning and Zoning Board said, hey, we don't want anything that's gonna allow heavy truck usage on there. So they approved it, if you look at the background on the item, they approved it to general business, and with the condition that they're only allowed to operate the medical equipment warehousing.
Is there an
Again, no
existing
heavy truck
warehouse there
equipment.
already?
Monday?
Is there an existing warehouse?
Yes, there's a warehouse right there.
Okay, but if we're acting on this, it says heavy commercial on here, so we wouldn't be acting on the general, we'd be acting on heavy commercial.
That is correct. Yeah, so at this
Unless
point,
can we change the wording?
we can change the wording in the next meeting.
Right.
But not in this resolution.
Correct.
I mean.
So I'd rather
if-
wait till the next meeting till
What-
we get this right.
What about, I just,
That's a good point.
I don't want something happening because of a technicality
Right.
that says, well, this happened, and I know it's an
And-
agreement for something else, but this wasn't the agenda.
Then the next thing you know, we see heavy equipment, heavy truck equipment passing through there legally.
We're allowing that, especially now that we are considering to make some modifications elsewhere. So we don't wanna make sure there's no technicality issues there.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. And something I wanted to check on is just essentially whether or not this is time pressing. If it's time sensitive, there is something we could do, which is essentially consider granting the adjustment to the heavy commercial classification, and then at the next meeting, change it from heavy commercial to
General.
general business. However, with it not being time time sensitive.
So the public hearing can still be accounted for.
Thank you.
It will just be the other item to be tabled for the next meeting.
Correct.
That's correct.
Okay.
So can we, so at this point,
No,
We can
that's a
close-
public hearing.
we can
continue
close
with
the public?
hearing.
Yeah,
we
so
can, yeah,
we'll
do I
still
have a
need to
motion?
allow,
Anybody, I don't know if anybody.
I motion to
No, there's
close.
sorry.
It's
Oh,
not an
before we-
action.
sorry.
I apologize. We do need to allow public comment, and after that, then we
Okay,
can.
Yes.
any other public comments? Have a motion?
I motion to close.
Second?
Second.
A motion a second. Any other questions? I think we already know what direction we need to go in. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The motion carries. So do I have a motion to,
On 6-2, Mayor, can we table this item to the next
Postpone or
meeting, till
table,
we can
correct.
postpone it to the next meeting so we can work on the wording for that motion, and then we can come back and visit that.
A second.
motion and second? Any other questions? Thank you, yes, well and understood. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, consent agenda.
Make a motion for the consent agenda.
I'll second.
A motion and a second, any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Motion carries. All right, and for the record, just, we wanna go over 7.2. We're working on, improvements for streets.
If you want to pull it for discussion or just.
No,
Oh,
just a
okay.
brief.
Yeah, just, while it's a consent, it's a procedural matter. Council previously approved the contract to do the paving for the streets to the north with Texas Cordia. This is the last pay-app, which covers the remainder of the work that they did, as well as the paving on South Brayfogle. And it's actually a good chance to note, remind the public that what was done on South Brayfogle was actual paving. It was redone, most of the street was redone. I know our guys were out there because there were some crossovers every 10, 15 feet that were like 3 feet in width. And people thought, oh, it's just patchwork, it's just patchwork. But the reality is that the majority of the street was repaved completely by the contractor. These were just the crossovers.
And I was just gonna commend, we had some issues in some areas where they knocked out some mailboxes or a mailbox, and Cordia was able to fix those issues rather promptly, so thank you for doing that.
All right. Good, so just letting the community know what was approved in consent.
When are we projected to begin La Homa?
Actually, we're gonna cover
It's
that
another
next.
item
Oh,
in there.
is that in, okay,
We'll
I'm
jump
sorry.
in.
Okay, so under new business, good question there, Mayor Pro Tem there. 8.1, discussion and possible action on approval of interlocal cooperation agreement between the city of Palmview and county for the overlay of La
I'm
Juema.
gonna make a motion.
I'll second.
Sorry, Mayor. I apologize for interrupting. Do we have a motion for agenda item 7? For the
Yes.
consent agenda?
Yeah, it was a consent agenda, we
Okay.
just. had
Correct.
some
All right.
And we just
questions,
did a
but we
brief.
Voted on.
Sure,
So
yeah, I
we
just
had
want
a
to make
motion
sure.
and a
we had a
second,
motion and a
and
second.
we
Okay.
approved. We just asked to, a little discussion. Good point. Thank you,
Sounds
sir.
Mhm.
Okay, so, we had a motion, a second. Any questions?
Yeah, what is this gonna cost us?
At our last meeting, council gave us a direction. We had a quote from Cordy and a few others, and we had Precinct 3, who we reached out to. We went back again, said, hey, one more time. While Cordy was at 49,000, Precinct 3 came out at 19,800. So council approved that, and since then, the precinct came back and said, hey, here's an interlocal specific to that stretch on La Homa, so we can do repairs, not patchwork, but true repairs. To answer the question about start date, they're looking at February 6th, which is the first Monday in February. They have some stuff that they're finishing up, but this will do everything on our part so we can hand it over to them and they can commence the work for
So
19,000.
overlay, essentially, they will be getting the really bad spots and putting some more, compounding that,
Yeah, the
that
compaction.
area, the compacting that area. You know, because there are some areas where it's really bad.
Oh, yes.
And it's gonna need some compaction.
Yes, and it's gonna be the entire width of the street,
Well, that-
not just a portion of it or sort of it, the entire width, all the stretch from San Alejo to Esther Street.
Right.
They'll tear it up, dig in, recompact, and then overlay it again.
Wonderful. This is a very good, price that they're giving us here from the
So
county.
it's about
So,
30,000.
really good, really good.
Yeah, for the
Very
record,
happy.
6/12, Mr. Commissioner Garcia's
For the
present.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, we've done these projects before, and so with the county to save money, so it's a, it was,
All we have to do is pay for, we do have to pay, we pay them for labor and for the cost of the equipment and materials, of course. But there's no markup, there's no profit margins and all this
Right.
other stuff that, you know.
it's a good thing
typical.
for a community, long awaited too, that,
Oh, yes.
uh,
Yeah.
all right, any
Yes.
other questions?
I
Any more
think-
discussion?
no. No, that's just-
On item 8.1, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. 8.2, under new business, discussion and possible action to authorize purchase for residential trash carts for
Make a motion.
waste quick.
second.
A motion and a second. Questions? Mike?
For the
go
record,
ahead.
we got as y'all know, we got our residential trash truck parked outside in the back, ready to go. That was the biggest hurdle because of the timing and stuff. So we're excited about that. So now it's time to order the carts. This item that you're considering, approve the carts, about 4,500 residential carts. We're looking to start with residential only come April 1. April 1 is our go-live date. And we've already been in communications with Republic that they will continue the commercial and they'll continue the brush for the residential. We're gonna focus on residential, the curb pickup of the actual cans. So again, this allows us to move forward with the purchase of the cans.
Did this have to go through any bid process?
Because of the amount, we're subject to competitive bidding requirements. However, in the interest of time, we go through buy board vendors or co-op vendors that go through that process already.
Okay.
So we got three, we still got our three
Okay.
submissions. This one is the best price for that particular quality. There was a third one that came in a little bit lower, however, it's not the same quality, so it didn't fit
Okay.
the scope. And those cans won't last as long as these. This was recommended by Cesar Gutierrez, who's not here today, but
Okay.
Westicos use them in Missions, and they're moving to that, because if you get those other ones, they warp with the sun, and then when the arm grabs them,
No,
look
no,
at
no,
it, they don't
it's
stay the
good,
same.
it's good.
So these are quality, the toter.
All right.
So it's bringing another, so the commission and Mr. Leo and Cesar and who else was involved?
So this is-
Finance.
Rudy and
Yeah,
finance.
all of this is it's been a project that's been discussed for many years, and it's finally here. And now we're picking up putting the carts in to put the pieces together, the puzzle, so that we can bring trash services, a certain part of the trash service, right? Because we're
So
not gonna
Ap-
do brush.
Residential
We're not gonna
trash.
do, residential, we're not gonna do
April
commercial.
1st, it will be the
Yes.
planned starting dates, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So we can keep promoting, once we get those things, so we can promote our city to kind of adjust, and hopefully there will be no obstacles, but to have some flyers or some things so we can
Promote it.
promote it,
And
via
do this-
social media
do this
or,
around the-
or announcements throughout there, so we can know that those things are gonna be, replaced, and hopefully the transition will be smooth.
Yes. All right, any other questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. 8.3, discussion and possible action to renew Adrian Webb CPA to conduct annual financial audit for
I'll make
fiscal
a
year.
motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions?
Just allows us to
Brief
continue with our
summary,
auditor he did the last one in a quick time frame, so he's working with Mr. Trevino. We're current right now, it's not due till the end of March, so finance is working hard, and this will allow for a smooth transaction, hopefully keep that same unmodified opinion, the highest level that we're able to achieve.
Good. Any other questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. 8.4, approval and ratification of agreement with Intermedia, Inc. for communication services.
Now, real quick here, we hired that IT consultant. One of the tasks we gave him, look at our phone systems. We have problems with the phones, with the equipment, with the quality of stuff. So they looked at everything. They came up with a new proposal with a new vendor, Intermedia, with new equipment. A lot of it's gonna be free at no cost, but more importantly, the monthly service will be less. Actually, it'll be between $500 and $800 less per month. So for the amounts of lines that we have, that's between 6,000 to 9,000 savings annually. We get new equipment, we get better equipment, better quality service. We've looked at it, we've tested it, we feel confident that this is gonna provide, what we need, because again, we've had challenges and issues. So we moved on it quickly administratively because there was a promotion that we needed to take advantage of. So now it's up to council to either ratify that, or if you want, we can just opt out of it and stay with what we have. But
Excuse me, Mike, are we gonna have somebody answering the phone?
that hasn't changed. What we're hoping is two things. We're gonna talk about the Text My Gov that went live, that hopefully is gonna alleviate the number of calls that come in, because the number of calls that come in, it's very high volume. I know you've talked about that before. Others said it would be great to have a live person answer the phone as opposed to the automated system. So once we have that in place, we can revisit that. Hopefully that text MyGov will, legal out the phone calls. 'Cause part of the reason to have that automated system is to avoid, to get the calls straight to where they need to go. If the person that's pressing the buttons knows what they need to press. Now, it gets frustrating for the end user sometimes if they're not comfortable with it and things of that nature, but
You always want to talk to a person at the other end. But so move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second.
So
And then we'll
they're gonna replace the whole phone system, is that what you mentioned?
the actual phones themselves and other kind of plug and play, that, you need an internet connection, but you just connect them and boom, they're ready to go with the
Yeah.
extensions, the lines, they port over. So it's a pretty smooth transition, but there's a lot of phones that we're getting at no cost. There were some that we purchased that have more features, and now we're gonna have like conference phones. We don't have any conference phones right now. We have to use our phones and put the speaker and put the microphone next to it to try to raise it. We're gonna get 3 of those.
What's the timeline for this?
I don't know if Lieutenant, you can speak to that, or Ms. Garza. I think the order was already placed, so we should be getting the equipment pretty soon.
We should have gotten it today. There were some boxes that came in. I need to check those to see if that's them. But it'll be within days.
And then the company's gonna install them?
Yes, they do all that. And our IT consultant, he kind of supervises.
All right.
They have several phones right now that don't work, mine being one of them. Landlines that don't work, so this is huge for us.
Fire only had one phone at the substation. Some employees have to get them forwarded to their cell phones because they have problems, so it's been challenging, to say the least.
All right, any other questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. 8.5, discussion and possible action to accept grant 4678801 for the purchase of 10 ballistic resistant shields from the Office of the Governor.
So move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. I know I didn't say questions, but are there any questions?
Just for the record, self-explanatory, 10 shields, at no cost to the city, all grant funded, 66,500 is the grant.
Great.
PD's ready to go, right?
You got that, Chief?
Funded?
You got that grant? Or-
Yes, sir.
Good job.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
Update on 8.6, update on Texas Commission on Fire Protection.
I'll be staffed by Fire Chief Alanis.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council.
Good
We had
evening.
our audit by the Texas Commission on Fire Protection last week. They were with us pretty much all afternoon. As you can see in the letter, we passed with flying colors. All of our policies and procedures are up to current standards. Things will be changing in the next couple of years, but there's time for us to be able to make those changes and be ready for, down the road. But just, wanted to let you all know that, that's a big audit, because they're the ones that are the police for the fire service in Texas, so just, wanted to give you all that information.
Thank you.
Good job, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
Good job, Chief.
Next item, 8.7, discussion and possible action on settling a legislative agenda and scheduling potential Palmview Day at the Capitol.
Mayor, real quick, before COVID, you may recall, we used to go to Austin, meet with our state rep, our state senator, state agencies, Water Development Board, Texas Parks and Wildlife. Didn't do that the first time around after COVID, so this gives us the opportunity to discuss it, if that's something that you want to entertain. And then what are our legislative priorities, what are the hot topics? I was able to speak with them then. They'll assist us in that in putting together a legislative agenda, and then they'll give us updates when there's action items. They just won't go up there pushing for us, we'll do that for ourselves. The one that comes to mind is pushing for our CCN, water rights and sewer rights, of
So
course.
move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Go ahead, Mike.
Anything else that you want to add, that you want to target,
the
that
two
would
main
take
ones?
legislative?
Yeah, that's something to set forth for the next,
And maybe we can talk to them about helping with our street. For the infrastructure.
Infrastructure, correct.
Any
One quick
drainage
note I wanted to
projects?
add on that. I very apologize for that. Definitely agree. Everything you said with it is absolutely correct. I just wanted to say that we're willing to help in any way that we can. The only reason we can't go up and actually help you argue for these things is because essentially we'd have to be licensed as lobbyists in the state of Texas, which is its other can of worms. But to the extent that we can,
We can.
we'll help with everything else. Yeah.
Okay,
So just let us
thank
know.
you.
No problem.
Okay,
Do we
I
need
had
a
a
date for this or what?
That's,
Yes.
we want to, it's gonna be pretty soon, because they're kicking it off already, so.
April,
When is,
Well, they already started, they're kicking stuff off, so, you know, what we can do is we can reach out to them to see what's a good date, and then we'll coordinate with Ms. Annette to you guys, hey, these are the dates that are available.
Yeah, that would
let us
be,
know,
that
see
would
we
be
have
the
a
best.
time, we can make chance to visit.
But
as
it
well.
will be a day out of the week, most likely, like, you know, Thursday or Friday, or Friday and Saturday, but most likely, you know, maybe 2 days, Thursday and Friday, or Wednesday and Thursday or something.
Sounds good, thank you.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item 8.8, discussion and possible action on appointments to the Palmview Municipal Development District.
Mayor, I wanna,
Take this into executive?
We get a vote? We can get a second?
You didn't take it into executive.
Did you motion?
Did it make motion?
No, we'll take it.
Yeah,
we'll
we
take
can't
it.
take a motion to take it to executive.
Okay.
That's a question.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Take the item into executive. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. So item 8.8. Item 8.9, discussion and possible action on a resolution in support of the legislation relating to the provision of solid waste disposal, services by Hidalgo County.
Hidalgo County approached us last week, Mike Bettis on behalf of the county judge's office. They're gonna be doing rural trash. They're kicking off a rural trash that they've been working on for a long time to try to curb their illegal dumping and the costs that they have. So they're gonna contract out to provide trash pickup for everywhere in the rural areas. Their legal came back and said, if you're gonna do it in a city's ETJ, you need consent of that city, or you need legislative action. So they're going towards legislative action. So what this item is for us a resolution just to support their efforts. When they go to Austin and lobby to get the laws changed to make sure they can do that. So one, that's the item on the agenda. Now, in the process, we said, well, you know what, we're kicking off our trash April 1 as well. So if you wanna have a discussion about maybe us picking up trash in our ETJ, and you guys pay us, we'll be open to that. And they said, you know what, that sounds fair. If we did that, and again, this is just an idea, we're not acting on it, but if we did that, we wouldn't have to bill those people, none of that, and we wouldn't have to collect, and we would get 100%, as opposed to, 80%, 90%. We get 100% because the county's gonna pay us. And then the county's gonna bill through the water companies, all the Agua Sud sharing on water supply, to get their money back, so to speak.
Right.
They're still gonna do that regardless, this is just something that we threw out there.
but we're doing the service.
What we're proposing is maybe we do the service. In other words, we're like the vendor now.
Yeah.
Kinda like we do with the ambulance, we
Yeah,
provide
yeah,
service. to the
that's
city.
it, that was the idea,
I so
only
move
to
for
the areas that are close to.
Exactly,
So
only in our
moved.
ETJ.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the item. Any questions? Any other questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. I think that's a good, that's a good thing for the community. Item, okay, monthly department reports.
I'm just gonna go over a few, real quick here, passing out of interest. Number one, Text My Gov. We sent you guys a notice. It's on our website. It went live. We're starting to push it here to social media. And as a matter of fact, just on that social media point, we had some people that were kind of already, communicating through it. So for example, this is a dashboard that we see, and we see each one is a log where somebody actually sent out, they texted .gov, someone said permit, one said hi, another one said pick up trash, trash services, saludos, when will the water be on, things like that. And so,
From
This
Mele.
is what's coming out.
so they send these messages, and then the system starts to interact and go back and forth. So you see on page 2, an actual breakdown of how those conversations went. Somebody said hi, so the system says, hey, this is Palmview, if you want contact information, say contact. If you want to report something, say report. Another one said permit, so you see, oh, for information regarding permits, click here, to view this, click here. So it starts getting interactive so they can get that information themselves, so they don't have to be
Awesome.
calling. And we were waiting for our new website to be able to do this and to have this capability. One said pick up trash, and it says, oh, you want to report a missed garbage pickup? You give us your name, give us your address, give us things like that. When will the water be on? Because we know we don't have water, so it tells you right here, please contact Agua Sud. The majority of the customers are with water with Agua Sud. And then the last one threw us off, saludos from Melit. Apologies to our friends at Melit.
Hello, Norma.
But the system was like, we don't know what you're searching for. It is supposed to be bilingual friendly, so
I guess people will get used to it later on. They'll know what it
Have
is.
y'all saved the number?
It's a good thing.
one time.
Oh, y'all need to get the number.
If you look
So
at
you
the-
could text, the issue.
Para saludarle.
I think with tiempo, with time, they'll get used to it, they'll start using it. The last page is what an interaction should look like. If you look on page 3, somebody put report, and it says, what do you want to report? A pothole, a signed street, a street light, or a traffic signal? We put pothole, okay, what's the address? Benson and Veterans, you don't need an exact address, just the más o menos where it's at. What's your first and last name? In this case, it was myself testing it. And there's a description, there's a pothole under the traffic light.
420?
So then it's done with the report, and the good thing for us is on the back end, at the very bottom, you see how it says notification sent to George Martinez and Cesar Gutierrez. The system creates a work order, it puts it in and sends it to the right guys that it needs to go to. If it was a street light, if it was a permit thing, it would go to Rudy or Rudy's department. If it was a trash thing, it would go
What
somewhere
if
else.
it's like not dealing with the city,
Was like Mike was
like
testing
water?
it
Yeah, we're gonna direct, just like that other one said, you need to call Awasad at this number.
to report a missed garbage.
So there's a lot of things that are preloaded already on there, and this will
I
probably grow
typed it
with
my
time,
gov.
so.
I would say to have a report, maybe in a quarterly report to us on this and see how it's going, and then see how we can tweak it to best service, you know?
Yes,
Or
it's
maybe
gonna be
get
tweaked.
feedback from the departments
Yes,
and
it's gonna be
see if
tweaked.
it's
It's growing, it's gonna be
working
alive.
well. And
By
again,
June
keep
or
pushing that
July?
number.
So if we can't find you, we call you this number, what?
You try. You pass it.
Find Mike.
Where's the manager?
That's right.
Find me the city
I'm
manager.
right here, I'm right
You
here.
be the city manager.
I'm returning your text right here. All right, yeah, we can tweak it and see how it best fits for the city. Thank you, Mr. Leo. Anything else?
If you haven't seen the flyer, the number is 956-420-0042.
Is there any way you can put it on the screen?
So you save that number and then you text keywords, and then it gives you a response.
956-420-0042.
42.
I think I already saved it because they sent me a message as
I didn't
well
even know.
that I saw there.
Can you
And,
type it on the screen, Mr. Leo?
so hopefully we get some good responses from
I'm sure you're gonna
being
get a
more
lot of-
efficient, I would say. you know.
Saludos.
Si acaso tienen preguntas de la ciudad, de permisos, cualquier queja que tengan, pueden mandar un mensaje al número 956-420-0042. Y ese número le va a regresar una respuesta y ojalá y nos ayude a comunicarnos un poquito más rápido, más rápidamente.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Saludos.
Saludos. Anything else, Mike? We're good?
FYI, Texas Sisters Fiesta update, I know they had that event this last weekend, and then I think the week out, not this Saturday, but the week after is the brunch during the day, and then the parade in the evening. We don't have a float for the parade, we have the vehicles again registered, so if you're gonna wanna attend, just coordinate with Ms. Annette, who'll coordinate with myself and Ms. Irma. We'll have vehicles, we'll have your nameplates on the sides as well. We'll probably have our first responder vehicles and maybe the garbage truck if anyone wants to ride on that one.
That's a cool one.
I don't know.
That's a cool one.
A ver,
It's brand new.
It'll pick you up
Está
and it'll
blanco,
put
yeah,
you
it's nice.
That's where you belong.
I can
Oh,
only
it-
see the comment.
Yeah, a lot of
Bad
a lot of
comments.
puns.
Last item, food park update, we put that teaser on that Ms. Irma put together, great response from the community, from vendors that were interested. There's already a
Awesome.
few that have called and told us that they wanna participate. We had a follow-up meeting on Friday, Ms. Irma Garza and Rudy Flores went over to the Mission Seed to talk to the Mission Seed, and then the City of Falfurrias, they got a T-Mobile grant to kick off there, so it was a great opportunity to get some feedback from them. We're still moving forward. During our workshop tomorrow, we'll jump into big details about the setup, what we need to do, and get some more feedback from U.S. Council. But again, we're moving forward. There are some things that we need to deal with, and some challenges that we expect. But given the response, it seems like the people are excited about it.
Sounds
Yes.
good. Sounds great.
All right. For the rest
Keep us posted on that, on it. Anything else? I'm sorry, sir?
not on that one. I mean, I don't know if it's one item or separate item.
We're discussing that at tomorrow's workshop?
Yes.
Okay, I have ideas.
For the rest of the departments, again, we have the department heads that are available here. City Secretary reminds you that your office holder semi-annual reports are due. Fire, we're gonna have a big on our workshop tomorrow. Public Works, earlier this month, we started third-party services for mowing and cleaning along the frontage of the expressway on both sides, as well as some of the big properties that we have, like the Flores Leo Elementary property. Council had approved a $50,000 budget for beautification, so we're putting that into impact. And what it does is it alleviates our guys having to do that work so they can do other stuff. So it's been a pretty good help. That way, if there's illegal dumping or trash, we need to go right away, we can respond faster. Before, you guys would get those calls, we get the calls, and it's hard for our guys to stop what they're doing, pack up, mobilize all the equipment, put it on the trailer, and go somewhere else. So, again, we're trying that out. It seems to be working well. We're just gonna do it like maybe every other month. We're gonna coordinate with TxDOT to see when they do it, because they're the ones that really should be doing it. And they say they go quarterly, so we're just asking them, hey, tell us when, so for the other months, we know when to do it ourselves.
To fill in the gaps.
How about cameras? We talked about putting those, cameras in certain locations where they,
We've done it a few times on Minnesota South and on 2 Mile Line.
just keep it, just make sure that our compliance department is up to that. I know you guys have nabbed some,
See,
so,
they're like game cameras.
yes. All right. Next item, executive session pursuant, okay, do I have a motion? I have a motion.
I'll second.
I have a second. Pursuant, to go into executive session at 6:33 pursuant Texas Government Code 551071, 551072, 551073, 551074, 551076, and 551087. We will be going into executive session. We'll be back shortly. Thank you, and be patient. We'll be back out. Thank you.
I wanna.
But what about 10-1?
No, we have,
No action.
We have no action.
yeah, yes, sir. No action on items 10-1 and 10-2 for the record.
Okay, Mayor, I would like nominate Lucy Rosales for place 2, Espio Ochoa for place 4, and Rick Villarreal for place 5.
So move for approval.
I second.
Motion, second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. And it is 6:59 on this beautiful evening. I call this meeting adjourned. Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
First meeting of the year.
Mike, we said what? We said 7:30?
Oh, not bad.